This episode of Soldier Knows Best is brought to you by Click It or Ticket. Hey, what's up guys, Soldier Knows Best here with my review of the Logitech Harmony 1 Universal Remote Control. Now I decided to pick this thing up because I just really needed help. I had like 5 or 6 controllers in my living room. I really needed to get all that clutter down to just one. So first we're going to take a look at the design itself. And so the Harmony 1 definitely has it going in the looks department. It looks really good, looks very stylish. It will definitely complement any TV setup. And I do like that it is extremely lightweight for a remote control of this size, I will say that. And it really has a nice ergonomic design if you take a look at the back of it. So it's really going to curve to your hand in a very nice way. Oh yeah. And so this remote control definitely has a plethora of buttons. At the bottom, you'll find the number pad. Right above that, you'll find all the different playback controls when you're watching a movie or listening to music. And above that, you will find the volume and the channel up and down controls. And also you have a little directional pad there as well. Then right above that, you'll find the activities button, which I'll talk about that in a little bit. And also the help button, info, guide, menu, exit button as well. And all the buttons I just showed you are backlit, and also too, some of them are contoured, again, just to help with that overall comfort level. And this remote control does have a built-in motion sensor inside of it, so when you do pick it up off the table or just off of your lap, it will turn on the remote control, and also too, it will turn on the main thing with this, and that is the LCD screen on the front of it. Now this LCD screen is touch screen, so you can go ahead and tap on it. So if you have a different list of activities, you can choose to switch between them. And also too, depending on where you are, it does have a couple arrow buttons on the side of it, so you can navigate through the screens that way. And the touch screen does work pretty well. It's not a retina display by any means, but it will get the job done. Now the Harmony 1 does come with a removable rechargeable battery, and also to a base station which you set the entire remote control in, and it'll go ahead and start charging it. Now one of my negative experiences with this remote control is that the battery life isn't consistent. It's really not that long at all. I was really able to get about 2.5 days before I needed to put the remote control back in the charger. So it's just one of those things that's kind of nagging, that most of the time you do need to remember to put that thing in the base station, before you go to sleep or something like that. All right, so that's a look at the design and what's going on the inside of this remote control. Now it's going to talk about the software and how you set this thing up. So again, this remote control is meant to replace a good number of devices in your living room, and actually you can replace up to 15 different devices with this one remote control. And it's compatible with over 225 different electronic devices from over 5,000 different electronic brands. So more than likely, if it's in your living room, it should be able to be controlled by this remote control. And there's 2 different ways you can set up this remote control. One is the standard way, just to have it learn the infrared signal from each one of those devices. Or the easiest way, we'll be able to go ahead and use this software that comes with it. And this software is both Mac and PC compatible. I'm about to give you a quick little demo of it right now. All right, now here's my quick demo of the Logitech Harmony remote control software. And again, this is available for both the Mac and the PC. So anyway, you have 3 different tabs you're going to be working with here. One is going to be for activities. So many activities. If you know what movie that is, leave a comment down below. But anyway, one's going to be for devices, and also one is going to be for remote settings. Now I'm going to show you how to add a device to be able to be used by this remote control. Just need to hit this add device button. This is going to give you a list of different categories from products, from the video recorder to a DVD, music player, television, amplifier, whatever. We're going to add a TV in this case, and then now you just choose from the manufacturer. It has a long list of manufacturers here, so more than likely your device's manufacturer will probably be on this list. So I can choose Trust. I don't know what that is, but I can choose that one. If I had the model number, I can go and enter that in there, and then boom, in a couple of steps, that is already set to go. All right, so now I'm about to go ahead and show you the different settings that I have for my Watch TV activity real quick. So basically, when you're setting this up, you just choose from the list of devices that you already have set up, just like I showed you in the devices tab, and then you say, hey, I want this, this, and this to turn on when I press this particular button. But anyway, when I press the Watch TV button on the remote control, it's going to turn on my DirecTV PVR, then it's going to turn on my Samsung TV, then it's going to turn on my sound bar. So right now, what I'm about to show you is just how this thing works in action. All right, so I got all my new activities and devices synced over to my remote control, and now you're set to go ahead and start playing around with your universal remote control. So anyway, I'm getting ready to watch TV, but I got everything turned off, my TV set, sound bar, and my DVRs turned off. I simply press that Watch TV button on my remote controller, and boom, it just turns everything on in the specific order that I specified in the software. And so I'm watching TV, but now I want to go ahead and start playing some Halo on my Xbox 360. I can simply go back to the activities list there and choose play Xbox 360. And then now we'll go ahead and change the input on my TV set. So my cable box is set to HDMI 1, then my Xbox is set to HDMI 2. It will go ahead and change that since I did specify that in the software. And then also too, we'll go ahead and turn on my Xbox 360 and just leave my sound bar on. And you will notice that the info on the screen does change depending on what activity or what devices that you are using. And the most common problem that people do have with this remote control is just that when the remote control is doing an activity, it basically has to send a individual specific command to each one of those devices. Now, the length of time between when it sends that command to the TV set and then to the sound bar may be too small by default. And what happens is the controller sends both of those commands, but they kind of get jumbled up together because, again, it doesn't have enough time to do both of them. So anyway, you just need to sometimes go into the settings here and change it from, I think by default it was 500. I just changed it to 1500 to be safe. And it's so minute, you're really not going to notice it, but that will fix fix, again, the majority of the problems that people have with this remote controller. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, it is a very, very easy fix. All right, guys, we're winding down to the end of my review of this Logitech Harmony 1 remote control. Now, what are my overall thoughts about it? Now, first, some of the cons with this remote control is just that the Mac software isn't the best, and a lot of people were having some complaints with it. And me, myself, personally, I did run into a lot of times where it did freeze up on me. It didn't happen all the time, but it didn't happen enough to kind of piss me off just a little bit. Then also, people were reporting some durability issues with this remote control, and when you did drop it, the screen did crack or break. Now, let's be fair, any device with the screen could easily do that. But in my case, I did a quick little test where I dropped it from a higher height than what you normally would. In mine, this is 5, but again, some people were reporting some problems. And also, too, the battery life isn't what I would want from a remote control that you use on a daily basis. I want something that can last at least 5 days worth of use. Now, some of the pros with this remote control, again, just the overall design. Again, like I said before, it's very lightweight. The ergonomic design does feel very comfortable in your hand. I do like the button layout, and it's great. Plus, that it is backlight, and also, too, I do love that touch screen on the front of it. You don't notice how much you really want a touch screen on a remote control until you start using it, but it just really does make your life a little bit easier. And the software for me was easy enough that I think most people would be able to configure this remote control to their personal liking. And if you do run into any problems, the help feature is really good. So you can find this remote control for less than $200. It does depend on where you get it from. I think Amazon had one of the cheapest price, about 180 bucks, I think. So it is a little bit of an investment. It really does get rid of all those extra remote controls that you have in your living room, and you just replace it with just one remote control. So again, that's my review of the Logitech Harmony 1 remote control. But before we head out of here, it's going to take one let's look at our sponsor for this video. Today's episode is brought to you by Click It or Ticket, which is probably the most important sponsor that I've ever had for one of these videos, because law enforcement officers are going to be out in full force from May 21st through June 2nd of this year. But the message is just to put your seatbelt on, guys. It's no excuse really not to have your seatbelt on when you get into the car. It takes 1 second or 2 seconds, and it really can save lives. And in 2009 alone, there were about 13,000 lives that were saved by seatbelts. So, guys, it really is one of the stupidest decisions that you can make by not putting your seatbelt on. You may be the best driver in the world, but that person driving next to you may not be. And just a personal experience for me, I was in college one night, I was sitting there chilling on the bridge talking to someone, and I saw these guys driving the SUV all crazy. They lost control, it started rolling over, and one of the guys was thrown out of the SUV. Now luckily he landed about 20 feet away from it and it didn't roll over him, but even a better scenario, if he was just wearing his seatbelt, he wouldn't even had that chance, and he probably would have escaped with less injuries than what he had. So guys, it's plain and simple. Don't be stupid. Click it or ticket. Again, thanks for watching this video, guys. Please leave a comment down below what you think about the Logitech Harmony 1 remote control. And thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you later. Peace.